No, everything continues on the same. Well, I don't hang out with anybody else. I'm not into the partying thing. I don't smoke, drink, or anything like that. I don't like to be around it, so I don't really associate with any of the other homeless. Only a few, really, on a limited basis. Well, if I associate with anybody, it's more normal people who work and have a regular life. Yeah, I guess it's just a preference. I mean, I like this guy down here smoking. I can't be around cigarette smoke, so I don't like to be around any of that. There's a lot of people who smoke, and the same thing with drinking and stuff like that. It just seems to be a popular thing, so I don't associate with it. It's hard to, being homeless, it's hard to get away from that stereotype because everybody you go see to get help with, they automatically assume that you're an alcoholic, a drug addict, whatever. Right. That's totally true. But a lot of people don't even they don't even wait to see. They just automatically assume. No, I don't know. I guess it's because um, it's just what they see a lot of. I don't know. Um, I came here looking for help, medical help, because where I was, I couldn't get it, and I was getting worse. Well, shitty help is better than no help. But still, you call all these places that are supposed to help people, and they take your name and information, and you never hear from them again.
Right.
Like, I called the governor's advocacy in the ombudsman's office, and because I wanted to file a complaint against my current primary doctor, and OHP again, because I've filed complaints before with OHP, but they really went nowhere aside from they send the doctor a letter and you have to go get a new doctor. But OHP doesn't want to cover a lot of the problems that I'm having. So how are you supposed to get better if they don't cover anything? So I called the ombudsman's office, or the governor's advocacy office, I guess, and I told them what was going on, and they were supposed to assign an advocate for me and do some other things, to help me out. And then like a month or 6 weeks it went by and I didn't hear from them, so I called them back, and they said that I never called their office. They didn't know who I was. They don't have any record of me or anything like that. Even though I have an email, so I've been meaning to email them back, but I just haven't done it. Procrastinated a little bit because it just causes a lot of stress and hate. To have to go back again and deal with these people again. Oh, you get results. You file a complaint. Your doctor hates you for filing a complaint because they did nothing and blew you off. And so then you have to go find another new doctor and go through it all again. It just takes months and months. By the time you file the complaint, it goes through, and then you have to go find a new doctor who will take OHP or is accepting new patients, on OHP, and then make a new appointment, which takes weeks and weeks, and then go see them, and then whatever, whoever they are, you have to deal with them because they could just be another next idiot in line. No, they haven't really said anything like that. Well, one doctor was kind of a jerk. He was just a specialist, so, but no, they haven't really labeled me anything like that. Mostly what they want to do is, like my current primary doctor, she says, well, I'm not going to refer you out for that because OHP doesn't cover it, so it doesn't do any good to refer you out to have any type of documentation done. So she won't even refer me out to have any problems documented because she says, well, OHP isn't going to cover that, not the documentation, but the problem. So she just refuses to even have it documented. Right, but regardless of whether they'll cover the problem or not, even OHP has said this, even if they won't cover the problem, they will cover the documentation. So you should be able to go get imaging and a report that says that you have this problem, this issue going on, regardless of whether OHP will cover it or not. And that's where my doctor keeps blowing me off. And she just, morning.
Oh, yes, sir.
All right. She just totally refuses to have it documented, and I need that documentation for Social Security and my lawyer, to prove that you actually have this problem, because you just can't go say, oh yeah, I got this problem, but I don't have a report or imaging or anything from some dude, in the medical profession, because my current primary or even the last couple I've had refused to send me out because OHP won't cover that problem. And so if you can't get help, how are you supposed to get better or, get any relief? You're just supposed to sit around and suffer in pain constantly. And that's what I actually talked to one person at OHP that said they could get an override, to be able to help me with a couple of the problems I'm having. But then nothing ever happens. Even though you call back repeatedly, try to work with these people. Because I did have an advocate kind of from OHP before, and she said she was going to do a bunch of stuff, but she never did. Yeah, I don't know what her deal was. Her job description was vague in that she said that she was supposed to help people who use the emergency room a lot or went to urgent care a lot and stuff like that. And she had initially helped me get a room to stay in so that I could get a procedure done, because I had to do a prep and recover from this procedure they did. And so she helped me with that. And she said she was going to help with some other things, but never did. So anyway, this doctor says I need surgery for this problem I'm having. And then I never got any paperwork from his office. He never sent me the report from his findings. So several months go by, and I eventually contacted him and made an appointment for follow-up, because my doctor, my primary, was pushing me to do that. So I did it, and then the receptionist, when I called in to make the appointment, she says, well, OHP isn't going to cover that anyway, so the doctor's not going to do anything for you. But I made the appointment anyway and went in, and he was just pretty much a jerk when I went in. Him and his nurse, saying, well, this isn't free, you just can't get this done, and all this kind of stuff. That's just stupid, because the primary I had before, the one I have now, I had to make multiple appointments for the same thing, and she kept saying she was going to do something, but she never did, which is why I filed a complaint on her. You make these appointments and go in to get something done, and they never do anything, but they still get paid for their appointment. It's just it just seems to me that they're just ripping off the system. Right, they get paid by the appointments, and which is another stupid thing, because they want you to make my last primary, Brenda McNaughton. She was really big on that. She'd only help you with one thing for each appointment, and so every other problem you had to keep making appointments, another appointment, another appointment, another appointment. That's what got me realizing that that's how they got paid, was by the appointment. So they only want to help you with one thing at a time, and then you have to keep making appointments, which is stupid, because it's a couple weeks to the next appointment all the time. They're just ripping off the system. The doctors are. It's just totally bogus. And then they don't do nothing. If they're not going to do nothing and they don't do nothing at the appointment, why should they get paid for doing nothing? Yeah, it's frustrating to have to keep making appointments to go back, and then nothing happens. After you've been trying to get in to see someone for weeks or months, and then they just do nothing, and then you have to start all over again, or I don't know what to do. You go complain to OHP, who really their repercussions are limited, I guess, what they do. I don't know. And see, there again, in order to get any type of evaluation, I'm going to have documentation for everything. And if you can't get documentation, you can't just tell these people, say, I got these problems, but then they're going to say, well, where's your medical paperwork? Where's your medical records? Right, exactly. And yeah, I've been told that before, but like I have problems with my knees, right? It's been going on for years. I never had an accident, an incident, or any type of trauma or anything like that. And I finally get my primary to give me a CT scan, and she did it on one of them. So they find part of the problem. They say I have a tear in the meniscus. Well, they're not going to do surgery on it. And so she reads the report, and she's like, well, you're just going to get better anyway. And it's just like, that's stupid, because I never had a problem. I never had an accident to recover from. How do you figure it's going to get better when it's been getting worse for years? Just because you do an MRI on one, or a CT scan on one? And then she refused to send me out to have the other one done, because she said it's going to get better, even though there was never an accident or a trauma. Well, I wasn't there seeking any type of pain meds or anything like that. I told her flat out that all I wanted was documentation to show that there's a problem, because she knows what I'm trying to do, and she's just like resisting and trying to deter and obstruct my path to getting information, documentation.
Okay.
For Social Security.
Yeah.
I did, but they really just blew me off, and they sent back just a bunch of convoluted lies that, because I had gone through and you make a you tell them what's going on. You make a statement when you initially go in, right? So I had gone in there and told them about problems I have, when they happened, when they started, how long they've been going on, what caused them, if I knew that there was a problem, and this and that, and dates and times and all this kind of stuff. Well, they denied me for a couple reasons. One was medical records, and another one was I still owned a piece of property that they said that was a resource. Because if you have anything worth more than $2,000, it's a resource, and they'll deny you for it. So they also sent. So I got denied for SSDI, disability, and SSI, two separate things. So they said that they couldn't. They said that I was claiming that all this stuff started happening in 2001, which is bogus. I never told them that. But even though I made a statement, I never got a transcript of it, so I don't have proof that, I told them all these different dates and times and reasons that all this stuff happened. They just said I was making a statement that said that all this suddenly sprang up in 2001 and that I haven't been able to work since then. And so they denied it there, and that I owned this property. Oh yeah, they said I had these 5 pieces of property and one in Virginia somewhere, because they did some property search, and these pieces of property came up with owned by Michael Cook. And not that it's me, because they didn't search any farther and find a taxpayer ID number on any of them. They just did a name search and came up with all this property and said I had $480,000 worth of property or something like that in my name. And so they denied me on that. Exactly.
That's
just like the problems that I'm having, they just totally distort it and say, they look one place at a hospital in Fairbanks, Alaska, because I lived there, but they just look at the hospital for medical records, not anywhere else, and said, well, we can't find any records for you, so we're denying you on this case, and we're denying you because you own all this property. So now you have to go back and prove, they're disputing a bunch of lies, and making you prove that otherwise. And you'd think there'd be more of that, but it's like they don't even want, they just want to blow you off. And like my doctor, another thing she says, my current one, she says, well, SSI and SSDI are the same thing anyway, and only people with terminal illnesses or terminal diseases get put on Social Security anyway, so it's not going to do you any good. I don't know. Everybody says something different. Well, it's kind of hard to say, because this has been going on for years, so it's affected my life for the last 10, 20 years at least. I mean, parts of it started back in 95, 96, so it's been longer than that. That's 25 years ago.
And that's not chronic?
You know, I complained about it then, but the PAs I saw would just blow you off, and they just want to give you anti-inflammatories and stuff like that. They don't want to, it's almost the same now. Nobody wants to say nothing. No one wants to see nothing. No one wants to do nothing. Try to just blow you off, send you away, sweep you under the carpet, or just treat you like a nobody because you're homeless. Go away. You don't mean anything. As opposed to if you were a real person working a job, had a family, and you went in there and say, oh, I can see how this is causing a problem in your life, and we can help you out with this because you need our assistance because you have a life and a family, and you're somebody. Here to Oregon, yeah, because in Alaska they don't have a lot of the programs that they do here, and also it's easier to be homeless out here than it is in Fairbanks, Alaska. There ain't nowhere else to go. I mean, I've already got things started here, so I might as well just stay here. Well, I have a lawyer. She's supposed to be helping me work with NOAA to see if they can help me in any way to get housing, other than putting your name on a list and with 600 people on it, and you're waiting 2 years or something like that for a maybe. Right, and that's what I think she's trying to work out, is to see if she can help sort it out. And it wouldn't matter. I mean, it would be all right if they had housing in another city or something like that. That would be unacceptable because I have to find a new primary anyway. I've just been putting off complaining again because I know where that road goes, and it just sucks so bad that I have to go find another primary because this one doesn't want to do her job at all. They just want to take the appointment and blow you off and do nothing.
They work on
I
housing.
talked to a social worker over at the hospital, at the CMH hospital over here, when I was having some scans done for cancer. And trucks. And he says the same thing, that the property I own is going to cause problems with even getting housing because they consider it a resource.
Uh-huh.
But that's supposed to be auctioned off here in January, which is sad because they're kicking my parents out, who are sick and handicapped and bedridden also, and so now they have no place to go, and they only got 6 weeks now left before the property's auctioned off and they're going to be kicked out. No, it wasn't tax foreclosure. It was, it's weird because it was all set up on automatic payment from, my parents' account, and they have money for it, and I'm not sure understanding why the bank's saying that the loan is in default because it was all set up on automatic. No, there was nothing like that. It was no balloon payment or nothing like that. They said it was from loan default. The only thing I can figure is that somehow the money was seized out of the account. I'm not clear on it. I haven't looked at it other than they sent me copies of the paperwork from the collection agency, and the collection agency says that the bank is demanding full payment because of a default in a loan. Things will change in the fact that I won't have that property in my name anymore. Then I have to go through the fact that whether or not because it's going to be sold at auction, I don't know what the end result's going to be. I'm hoping I don't get any money from it, because then I'll have to justify that, pay taxes on it. It's going to be it would be counted as income. It would affect my EBT that I'm getting now because income would be bad for me right now. Well, it would be bad. It would be bad for that too because it would be under their $2,000 thing. Oh, you have more than $2,000, because you you know, you sold this property, you dispersed this property, you got rid of this property, yada yada yada. It's a resource. You made so much money off of it. We're going to deny you again for the next 10 years. Yeah, I don't know. It's just not worth worrying about until it all happens and you find out the end result. Well, same old stuff. Nothing's changed. It all goes on. I still have the same problems now that I did, almost 2 years ago when I started seeing the doctors. Not very good, I guess. I mean, it's all right, but it's just kind of sucky. I get discouraged and hate people and disgusted with the organizations and stuff. Like having to contact people repeatedly for the same thing. Yeah, there's only so many other things. There's so many things you can try. I mean, once you've talked to all these people, over and over again, repeatedly, which is one of the things that the lawyer that came here to town, she was here to find out is, some of the obstructions that are preventing people from getting all this help. Because it's funny. The city council, CCA, they all spew this propaganda that say, well, there's all this help available to all these people. All they have to do is ask and go do it. And it's just fucking crap. It's propaganda so that they look good in people's eyes that they're doing all this shit. But, I don't know. It doesn't happen. I don't see it. You call these people, they say there's help available, and they listen to you, they take your story, and then it's like you never called in, they never heard from you, they don't know who you are. Right. They sit there at their desk, they collect a paycheck. Well, they're supposed to be doing a service. They don't. What really surprised me is that there's no type of in-field social workers or advocates that are trying to help people who are actively seeking help, that want to get off the street, they want to drug and out. Not that I do, but there may be people who would do well with the drug and alcohol program to help them, reintegrate. I understand the Helping Hands down the street. They do some of that. It's a rehab house, really, to help people get inside, get off drugs and alcohol. They do a skills assessment, I think, to help you get a job. You have to do work search and all that kind of stuff. And that's fine. The funny thing about that is that I talked to Susan Evans that runs the place, and she didn't want to help me at all. She says we have nothing for you other than you could stay in the shelter 4 days in, 3 days out. And that was when it was just in Seaside, not here. And I understand that they've changed that now to where you can only do that for 2 weeks. 4 days in, 3 days out for 2 weeks. And then you have to decide whether you want to be part of their program or not. I don't know. I haven't gone down there and talked to them. But the really shitty thing is that their place isn't handicap or disabled accessible. It's all stairs. There's no rails in the bathroom. I don't even know if you could use a wheelchair in the bathroom. But then everything's on stairs. They don't have. I don't think they have programs.
Yeah, they need to have an elevator in that place.
Right. I'm surprised they even got any type of grants or fundings for that building because of that. That was one of the first things that surprised me is that there's no real, well, I don't know, there's no people in the field. And I've been asked before if I had a caseworker or a social worker.
Good morning.
Morning. Or anything like that, but no one said. Yes. I've never been offered that opportunity to have someone work as a caseworker or a social worker or really an advocate to help jump through all these hoops and everything like that. I mean, I've complained to OHP and stuff like that, and they said they were going to assign somebody, and they never did. No, but other people have told me that. But I'm still trying to go through the advocacy office and the ombudsman. But this time, I'm not going to call them. I want to email them and keep a copy of it, just for the simple fact that it proves that I've contacted them. I mean, I do have one email from them before, but I want to, the one I write back, I want to be more detailed and, in stating things that have happened, and save it and see where it goes from there. I've just been putting it off for the last couple of weeks because I just haven't wanted to deal with it, because I have to file a complaint on my primary doctor again, and I've just not wanted to, because it's just going to suck to have to find another doctor. Right, and I don't have all that to keep a record. It's so difficult to keep something. Paperwork sucks, where am I supposed to keep it?
Yeah.
I do, but I just got it, and it's hard enough to block the robocalls that come in constantly. Yeah, they all want to sidestep around anything like that anyway. That's what I mean when I tell you that they don't want to see nothing, they don't want to do nothing, they don't want to say nothing. It's just like you go to the doctor, the three monkeys.
Yeah.
It's almost like you have to have a lawyer with you and record everything. I mean, it sucks you have to have a lawyer to go to the damn doctor. Yeah. That doesn't change anything about what's already gone on, and all the bullshit that I've had to put up with already, and all the idiot doctors that I've had to see. It just totally blew me off, Oh, you're too young. Oh, you just need to go back to work. Oh, blah, blah, blah. If your mom had liver problems, she was an alcoholic. It's just fucking stupid. There's nothing wrong with you. You just need to go back to your primary and start over again. It's just nonstop crap. People just want to blow you off. They want to treat you like an addict. They want to treat you like an alcoholic. They just want to blow you off. So you go out the door. So they discourage you, so you don't come back again. Who cares if you live in pain every day? It's like they don't want to have to deal with any obscure or difficult problems. If you cut yourself, you need stitches, it's good. If you break your leg, it's good. I don't know, stuff like that. If you have a cold or some infection, they can give you antibiotics. Yeah, and if they don't fix the problem, you don't pay them. That's what gets me about the doctors, is they still get paid by your appointment, regardless of whether they do anything or they're helping you or not. I mean, and really, if you have to make multiple appointments, it's better for them because they get paid more. Just like this last time I went to see my primary, I'm still having problems with the blood clots in my lungs. I can still feel them and stuff. And she was supposed to set me up with another CT scan, and I haven't heard from her. That was the 1st of November I went to see her, and she said she was going to do that. But I haven't called for her to make the appointment. I'm pretty sure she's just blowing me off and not going to do nothing. From what, a homeless person? What do they care? I mean, they know you don't have resources or a lawyer on tap or anything like that. They just want to blow you up. I mean, they treat you like shit. Like, you're in here complaining about this again? Get the fuck out of here. They totally look at the homelessness.
Yeah.
They treat you like shit because you're homeless. Totally. I mean, really, they totally stereotype you. I mean, they figure you're just an addict, a drug addict, and an alcoholic, so they just want to blow you off. When I went to the hospital because I went into the ER for the blood clots because I was coughing up blood, the ER nurse was giving me shit about how much I drank every day.
Did you ever see you out here?
No, I don't. Not at all. I don't drink at all. That's what I told her. I don't drink at all. It's like they don't believe you at all. Like you're lying to them. Oh, they did. They did a urinalysis and a blood toxicity. It all came back negative. Well, they did it when I was in the hospital. They were giving me morphine, so it showed positive for opiates. But it's because they were giving me morphine. So the blood clots, they said, were caused by a DVT, a blood clot for my legs because they're swelling and I have edema. And they're giving me pills for it, but they don't work. So it's really just a Band-Aid, and I'm taking blood thinners for the blood clots, an anti-clotting agent. But it doesn't solve the problem. It's not going to go away. As soon as I stop taking the blood thinners, I'm going to be at risk again for having another blood clot, another pulmonary embolism or some other type of blood clot, stroke or heart attack or something. Right, I'm bleeding already. I was before I went in. I do take pictures of it all the time, and I was beforehand, but it's easier now that I got the phone over doing it on my tablet. My last tablet died, and I lost some pictures. But I just saved them for my lawyer because I told it's just the doctor I went to refused to do the surgery because OHP won't pay. And then he says, well, it's not that bad. Lots of people bleed and have constant bleeding problems, There's nothing I can do. Even after he wrote on the paperwork that he recommended having surgery to solve the problem. But he didn't want to do the surgery because OHP won't pay for it. So there again, if I had better insurance or cash to pay for it, he would have done something. He was, he was just a dick anyway. An asshole doctor. It's kind of a joke because he was a proctologist. But him and his assistant, they were just rude. Well, yeah, I don't know how that's going to work out because I just signed paperwork with her 10 days ago or something like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. She seems like a nice person, but I ain't seen no action yet, so I can't testify to that. But she was working with people who work with the homeless here in town, and so like I said, she seems interested in the problem. Maybe on one front, Still get no relief, still sleeping outside, still the same problems.
Do you use the warming center at all?
I hate going there.
Yeah.
Dealing with the drunks and the drug addicts, and you can't expect to stay well there because everybody's coughing and hacking on you. The last time I stayed there, I got lice from sleeping there. They have the shampoo and the medication to solve it, but I don't really want to go back and deal with that again. Get sick from somebody coughing and hacking next to you because there's idiots there. It's hard for me to go use the bathroom because I have to hobble through on my cane, and they have some stairs that go to the bathroom and stuff like that. One time last year I went to the bathroom and there's some dude in there shooting up, got his kit all spread out on the sink in the bathroom. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. So if you have no income, how are you supposed to pay for that?
Yeah, exactly.
CCA? I don't know. They seem totally indifferent to the problem. There again, I'm lacking in medical records. I would have to go get an assessment to evaluation.
Yeah.
Right? A DOT exam. I don't know what they call it here, but I don't mean daily therapy. I mean a DOT evaluation, a physical. So they can ID all the problems I have before they say, well, you're able to do this without anybody having a liability problem. Because if I do that and make myself worse, then I'm going to say, well, hey, they told me that I could do this, but it's making me worse, so now I want to file a comp claim. Right, it could work against me, exactly. And I don't want to do anything that's going to make me worse or, that I'm not going to be able to do because of problems I'm having, And I can't get that information until I have everything documented, a thorough exam, a thorough evaluation, all that kind of stuff, which is what I was trying to do by getting things documented, MRI, CT scan, whatever, because I have other problems that I haven't even been seen for yet because I haven't even been able to get help with the first problems I'm having, or the first problems that I started with, because no one wants to do nothing. OHP doesn't cover that.